how the movie Wayne's World popularized Bohemian Rhapsody again.
I think we'll go with a little Bohemian Rhapsody, gentlemen.
Good call.
It's hard to imagine a world without Bohemian Rhapsody, but there was a time when one of rock's most influential songs nearly faded into obscurity. But the song lives on, thanks to the help of an unlikely hero. Who saved Bohemian Rhapsody? Amazingly, the 90s movie Wayne's World skyrocketed Queen's hit back into stardom. And the star of Wayne's World championed Bohemian Rhapsody again in 2018 to reignite Queen's influence for an entirely new generation. So, how in the world did a 90s comedy launch Bohemian Rhapsody back into the music charts? Let's start with the man behind the movie. You might know Mike Myers, the star of Wayne's World, from his hit-or-miss comedies like Austin Powers, The Love Guru, and he even played the voice of Shrek. But his goofy characters have created some unbelievable connections to the music world. Myers boosted Queen to the limelight not once, but twice. In many ways, the first revival of Bohemian Rhapsody seemed like a fluke. Myers used the track in his film to put the song back on the charts in 1992, a whopping 17 years after it first released back in 1975 on the album A Night in the Opera. If you've never heard of Wayne's World, that's okay, we got you covered. While Myers has starred, directed, and wrote a host of successful films since he hit the scene, Wayne's World was Myers' breakout debut. He really could have picked any song out there, but he chose to highlight Queen's most important song, Bohemian Rhapsody. If Myers wanted to pick an important Queen song, he had a lot to pick from. We Will Rock You is a must-have staple in practically every traditional sport all around the globe, with its bleacher-stomping beat and its refrains that showcase the triumphant human spirit. While Under Pressure was itself one of the biggest rock collabs in history featuring David Bowie. And of course, it's been sampled and covered by countless artists over the years. Yet, with all these incredibly influential songs to pick from, it's amazing that Bohemian Rhapsody stands as Queen's best, and the one that Myers chose for his film. Before the film even came out, the crew of Wayne's World realized the potential of including Bohemian Rhapsody in the song list. The director, Penelope Spheris, told the Day 6 News magazine, "I don't know if there's another song I could think of that could replace Bohemian Rhapsody. It was a brilliant choice on Mike's part." Other cast members like Sean Sullivan also resonated with the track. Beyond the musical significance of the song, Myers had his own reasons for adding Bohemian Rhapsody to his movie. Including the song was personal for Myers, who felt it encapsulated his adolescence growing up in Toronto. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Myers said, "I wanted Wayne's World the movie to be as cinematic and in the world as possible. I thought Bohemian Rhapsody would be a great way to introduce everybody." The song practically kicks off the movie as Wayne and Garth listen to the song on cassette. The Wayne's World crew filmed the Bohemian Rhapsody scene in just one night, but the crew spent at least an hour just jamming to the song on set. However, despite its iconic use in the film, Bohemian Rhapsody almost didn't make it to the final cut. The film's producer, Lorne Michaels, originally wanted Guns N' Roses instead, since they were way more popular at the time, and the hard rock legends meshed with the personality of Wayne and Garth. As filming was set to begin, Myers already had jokes prepped for Bohemian Rhapsody, calling it inherently comedic, but he had no material for any Guns N' Roses songs. So Myers fought for Bohemian Rhapsody and got his demand. In fact, he threatened to walk out if Bohemian Rhapsody wasn't used. Attaboy, Mike, the world owes you one. Of course, the comedian delivered a goofy rendition of the song, but nevertheless, that was enough to put the tune back into the limelight. This was back in the days of radio play, well before streaming services and even MP3 players gave everyone personal control and portability of their favorite tunes. People would see a movie, request the song when they got home, and listen to it if the radio station aired it. By the way, if you like the video so far, click that like button and subscribe for more music content. Fans had to go out of their way to get the song more radio plays. The hype was real, and Bohemian Rhapsody peaked at the #2 spot on the Billboard Hot 100s to beat plenty of contemporary artists like Mariah Carey, Red Hot Chili Peppers, U2, and Celine Dion. The Wayne's World soundtrack went on to sell $2 million in copies, and a new song video aired combining live Queen footage with scenes from Wayne's World. Want to know more about Queen's incredible live shows? We made a whole video about Queen's amazing Live Aid concert that went down as the greatest concert ever. Check it out after this story for more awesome info on Queen. Freddie Mercury and company gave their blessing for everything except the music video, and they were excited to have their music featured in the film. Mike gave it tape to Brian May because he wanted the band's approval. Brian showed the tape to Freddie Mercury right away, who seemed to love this version. Brian says about Mercury, "He loved it. He laughed and laughed. He was very weak, but he just smiled and laughed and said, 'Yeah, how wonderful is that?'" They thought the movie could give Bohemian Rhapsody a second chance at life, and it did. Who knows? The band may have even seen the film together, but in a tragic twist of fate, Mercury passed away just 3 months before Wayne's World premiered. The passing of Mercury, along with the intro scene of Wayne's World, sparked a revival for the song in pop culture that kept Bohemian Rhapsody afloat and relevant to this very day. But Myers wasn't done shining the spotlight on Queen. Back in the late 2010s, Myers returned to Bohemian Rhapsody one more time. The song that the music industry tried to reject as a single would become the name of a movie highlighting Freddie Mercury's life and the journey of Queen. Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie, featured Myers once again. He would play an important and antagonistic role in the film as Ray Foster, an imaginary record executive who worked with the band as they created one of the most iconic songs of all time. Foster was a character composite of a number of industry faces that the band felt doubted them and their artistry in the early years. The biopic starred Rami Malek, who did an excellent job capturing the essence of Freddie Mercury's flamboyant and charismatic stage presence. Audiences around the world were swept away by the same passion and energy that propelled the real Queen to fame back in the 70s. The movie walked away with a Golden Globe, an additional 21 different accolades, and the film grossed $901 million to break records in both drama and biopic genres. Despite its success, it's a safe bet that this movie wouldn't even exist if not for Wayne's World making Bohemian Rhapsody popular again. Myers' lines in the film called back to his own scene that revitalized Bohemian Rhapsody, as his character critically says,
"Bohemian Rhapsody will never be that song."
The song isn't something teenagers can crank up the volume in their car and bang their heads to. It's that kind of sly humor that got Myers into the spotlight in the first place, and it's a perfect way to sum up his role in immortalizing Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. So, that's the wild legacy of how Mike Myers and Wayne's World made Bohemian Rhapsody popular again. Do you know any songs with crazy histories? Let us know in the comments below. Remember to like the video and subscribe to catch all the best music, news, stories, and more.